He was this fellow from Japan, you know, who came along and loved the area and stayed. You love any time someone loves what you love, and I think he was obviously well-loved and a popular person, and he gave his heart and soul to his work here, you know, worked very hard. And so all that kind of ties up into this wonderful little bundle we know of George Massa, that he was mysterious yet very giving and very loved.
George must have been quite a sight, particularly if you ran into him back in the backcountry, because he had all of that camera equipment on. He wore that red bandana, and then he was always pushing this bicycle wheel so he could have the exact distances and things that he traveled.
He certainly was prolific in his photography. I liken him, and I've called him before, the Ansel Adams of the Southern Appalachians.
He came to the mountains of Appalachia in 1915 with little money and barely any more in the way of English. But he did possess a magnetic smile and a spirit that would prove as generous as it would irrepressible. Over the next 2 decades, he would climb from laundry hand to a leading hand in movements behind a pair of American icons, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and the Appalachian Trail. He emerged as an unlikely creative force in the burgeoning mountain city of Asheville, North Carolina, a city that attracted money and influence like a magnet through its Gilded Age of the 1920s. Lugging heavy gear over rugged, often uncharted terrain, he crafted thousands of photos. His work projected a remarkable vision of the sublime Appalachians to a vast and influential audience that reached all the way to the White House. But for all his wealthy contacts and his consummate art with a camera, he died penniless just 1 year before his dream of a Great Smoky Mountains National Park was realized. Though hundreds attended his funeral in the rain, he was truly known by few, if any, in this country at least. If things were different in Japan, there was no indication. He had no known contact with his native land for almost 20 years, perhaps longer. What he left behind there, what brought him here, and what drove him so selflessly in his mission to save ancient mountains are the secrets locked deep in the mystery of George Massa.
Launched out on adventure today.
On January 18, 1915, Masahara Izuka departed San Francisco on a train bound for New Orleans.
Denver, a church covered in snow.
Years later, he told a newspaper writer that he arrived in America at age 24 and that he traveled the United States extensively before setting foot in North Carolina and changing his name.
The color of the snow, Kansas City, extremely cold.
He told the reporter he was born in Osaka, Japan, and studied mining engineering at Tokyo's prestigious Meiji University. A newspaper report after his death said he came to the United States for further studies and that he severed ties with Japan following the death of his father. While George Massa worked in an era when his camera never lied, the truth about his life in Japan is shrouded in secrecy, and his time in America is cloaked in contradiction.